he's got for this.
This one. Yeah, I'll make that because we usually put these out.
Sandy, do you want to do Lelia today? Huh? Do you want to do Lelia today?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm displeased.
All you.
That's too much of me. Only one of them, only 6 of them. I'm telling you, Beth.
When it rains, it pours.
You're getting in trouble already here. Okay. This is good.
That's a happy
I
crowd.
think it's for Maria.
She's got one.
Pass some of those to her.
I take this. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel. Whether you're here with us in person or streaming at home, let's turn and greet each other with a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Let's begin on page 128 with the words of Hine Matov in our prayer book or in our hearts. Hine Matov.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. So I have a special song for you tonight because it is, does anybody know what Torah portion we're doing tonight? It's at the very beginning. It's Bereshit. So there's a tradition to sing this. It's an Israeli song. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And it is on page... It is actually in the prayer book, you said, Rabbi?
652, I want to say, but it might be 654.
652, let's see.
652, I had it right.
652 is
I
right.
hedged. It's all up here. I've memorized the prayer book.
It is called Ani Ve'ata, which means, Ani means I, Ve'ata, and you can change the world. And the reason that we've always sung it on this time of Bereshit is we talk about in the Torah about how God created the world. But now, of course, it's up to us to take this amazing world and create the one that we want. So I'm going to do a couple lines, a very simple song. And so would you give me a read? Okay, great. So the first part goes, Ani ve'ata, just try that. Ani ve'ata, nishane et ha'olam. Try that. Nishane et ha'olam. Try the whole line. Ani ve'ata, nishane et ha'olam. It has almost the same tune, that second line. Let's try it. Ani ve'ata, az yavo uzkarku. Then we do big ending. Lam. Good. Let's try the first two lines. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. Here's the only other line of melody you have to learn. אמנו את זה קודם, just try that. אמנו את זה קודם, לפני, לא משנה. Just try, לפני, לא משנה. Try that. לפני, לא משנה. Then we go back to that first line. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. So we're going to try that, and then we're going to go to the second verse, which has the same tune, and go to the third verse, and then go back to the first verse. And then at the very end, we'll sing this again, and everybody will know it. We're on 652. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם, לפני, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Let's try the second verse. אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה. יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם, לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Let's try the first verse again. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרנו את זה קודם, לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Great. We'll try it again at the end of the service. My favorite part in this is sometimes the music and the words really mesh. And what these are saying is some people may think that we're crazy, but we don't care. And that's the lo mishana. I just love that. So, all right, that's it for my tune teaching today.
A good tune to teach. A teachable tune.
A teachable tune.
And one that was very popular, obviously, in Israel, and that it was almost an anthem, for a while. Not like Hatikva as in the anthem, but as an anthem for the country about, let's work together to change the world. So, really great song, really great to have it here as we think about our world and about what kind of world do we want to create. We're going to invite now Kevin and Danny to come forward, to come light candles, Kevin and Danny Brom. And we can bring the girls up too if we'd like, of course. And let's rise together. We're on page 120 and 121, followed by 122 and 123, as orders sequentially go. Okay, so we're going to have you come up here. That's the mic, and there was Mike. Sorry. Don't mind me when I hear the microphone. Ah, it's dangerous up here. Have you slide over. Slide, slide, slide. More sliding, more sliding.
Great.
There we go. Step to the left. Step to the right. One hop, one time. Step to the left. Cha-cha now, y'all. Okay, you're going to read on that side of the page, please. One of those top two readings, one of those readings on that page. Upside, yeah. But into Mr. Microphone. Here we go.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Very nice. I'm going to light the candle. You're going to use this thing over here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher ishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'iratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava lirot uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
It's a tawny pot. After dinner wine, it's really hold its body. Very nice. Very nice. A nice thick port. It's delicious. Okay. It's Manischewitz, everybody. Calm down. No, sorry, it's not Manischewitz. It's Welch's, I think. It's not even Kedem. Can we get some Kedem here? We can take our seats.
I'll bring some in from Joel.
Cutting corners left and right. Let's take our seats. Drinking like watery grape juice. That was not what the rabbis had in mind. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's turn to page 138 and 139 for the singing of Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, as we symbolically, metaphorically greet the Sabbath bride. Let's all join together. 138, 139, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Gala, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat. Nekabela, day, day, day. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Gala, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat. Nekabela, Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu, El Haymiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shem ultiferet, V'ligila, Lechad Dodi, Ligrat Gala, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nikabela, day, 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 Lechad Dodi, Ligrat Gala, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nikabela, Ligrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem, Nisucha, Sof ma'aseh, מחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת. נקבלה, די, 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 לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת. נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת נקבלה, די, 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 לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולח, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת נקבלה, די, 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 לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
We can take our seats. Like Maria, you're getting into the spirit. You're wearing like a wool tallis today. It's like, she's coming in. She's one of our most stylish people here. I love it. Okay. Let's turn to page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. On the next page, even though you just took your seats, we're going to rise anyway. On 146 for the Baruch Hu. Get your exercise in. Let's all rise together.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Lehi Olam Va'ed, Lehi Olam Va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
Let's take our seats. On page, let's say 149, in the middle of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Together, this is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 151, in the middle of the page. We'll do this responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things.
Your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
Than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Let's rise together for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We're on page 154 as we continue together with the V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivdecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot hayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We're on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot together, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. On the next page, a song of our freedom, Mi Chamocha.
Yai la la, yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוהי הים לבני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי לי יא לה 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 יא לי לה 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 יא לי לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 לה.
On the next page, 160, we're going to continue with a prayer that asks God to protect us from all things that harm us, to spread God's sukkah, God's shelter of peace upon us. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, from sorrow, from pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim.
Air drums are my musical specialty, you know, as a camp thing from the Northeast. I didn't just make that up. Okay, we're on page, speaking of camp things, page 162. Let's join together for Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו ובני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We're going to turn now to page 164 through 170 for the Amidah. One thing to note, on page 168 for the Givu wrote, we have now changed our season. We are no longer welcoming the dew, asking the dew to descend anymore. Those days are over because summer is over. It's a little bit cooler right now. And so now we're in the winter months, so to speak. So we're causing the wind to shift and rain to fall. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashim. And now that we're in the fall months, even more importantly, I'm in my fall talis.
Oh, there we are.
This is autumn harvest. She comes out after Simchat Torah.
That's
So
very nice.
autumn harvest is now here with us until we get to winter.
I'm embarrassed wearing white.
Yeah, after Labor Day.
After Labor Day.
You know, my goodness. We're going to rise together on page 164 for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tahilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei ha'akol, V'zocher chasdei avot ve'imahot, U'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, Leman shemo b'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen, Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Zomech nofalim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishanei afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom elach, melech memid, umechayeh, umatzmiah Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom, yahalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. Let's turn to page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Let's turn to page 178 For a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך הטוב, לכל השלום, שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim
We turn now to page 371 as our thoughts turn to our loved ones who are in need of healing, whether they are in need of physical, mental, or spiritual healing. We take them into our thoughts at this time of prayer. Let's continue in the middle of the page. Misha Berach.
Beirach avotenu makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We are thinking of and wishing a refuah shlema to Pat Adamson, Eric Adler, Raymond Douglas Alcorn, Dr. Martin Bilo, Evan Bin, Rosemary Buckwalter, Ann Cole, Richard Corwin, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Eric Fisk and Z Fisk, Philip Gelman, Bob Gold and Carolyn Gold, Jennifer Gousset, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Marvin Hollander, Stuart J., Robert Jaffe, Lori Cattleman, Doris Kirshner, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Hank Corin, Dr. Sonia Linky, Michael Lynch, Dolores Munsick, Ruth Polar, Gloria Radetsky, Lee Siegel and Stacy Siegel, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, and Fred Truex. If we're thinking of anyone at this time for a special prayer of healing, please speak their names. My eyes meet yours. Taking these names with those that we're adding at home, we continue as we say.
מי שברך אמותינו, מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue with a moment of silent prayer and reflection.
Imrefi, egion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goli, Adonai tzuri v'goli.
Today is Simcha Shabbat, and so we have our birthday anniversary celebrations. We are small but mighty, and I know we have at least one birthday here.
Woot woot!
And so if I can invite my birthday girl up and a couple others if we have any other October birthdays.
Oh, you are the extra special October birthday.
Okay, come here. Come a little closer. Yeah, I
You
think
get all of the
right
blessing.
here, you get all the attention. You can
Right.
sort of right here. Here, stand on that. We're gonna do this right. Okay, there we go. God of our days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share the happiness of our friend here celebrating a birthday. Are you excited? Yeah, she's very excited, I can tell. Be with her always as the joy of her life. May she be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May we have the joy of coming together for many, 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 many years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then will our lives be filled with an abundance of blessing. Together we say, Amen.
Amen.
And we sing.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
Now let me see what I have down here.
Oh my gosh, what a surprise.
We misplaced the pony. That's a problem. Okay, well, I'm sorry we don't have the pony for you. But you can have a beautiful Temple of Israel pen that can do for all of your coloring. And because you're extra special to be up here, you get a pad too. A pen and pad. And they are all with the Temple of Israel logo on them. And I have signed in invisible ink each one of them. So they are collector's items. I don't want to see it on eBay later because they're very valuable. Okay. Happy birthday. of
Happy
course.
birthday. That was lovely.
She's like, I'm never coming up here again. Okay. So we have our birthday celebration. And how old are you? We forgot to ask. 10. Very nice. And yesterday. So 10 yesterday. I will mention it is also Chai's birthday, and Chai is at home because half the kids are sick. So happy birthday, Chai Chai.
Happy birthday.
And he turned 9. So got our youngins coming, so that's a good thing. Okay. It's a shot in the dark here. Anniversaries, October anniversaries. I didn't think so, right? No, because you guys were earlier, right? And yeah. For anyone who's celebrating anniversary at home, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
October's not a big wedding month, I think. I don't think so.
Maybe not.
No.
It'd be pretty. They could wear these colors.
I did a Halloween wedding once. It was delightfully uneventful. I was a little worried. It's like the bride and groom like in Wolfman outfit. I didn't need it. I don't need it. Okay. With all of that said, my friends, we're going to do a little Torah today. We have a minyan, and frankly, even if we didn't, I learned a few verses of Torah, so we're going to do them anyway. So, or else it'd be a shame. Roll the scroll and everything. Okay, so we're on page 363. Actually, you know what? Let's jump to 362. I'm going to invite up to the bima Andrea Feldman and Gail Moses to open the ark. Let's rise together.
In kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'ki ma'asecha malachutecha malachut kol olamim u'menshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ed, Adonai yos, leomoiten, Adonai yivareh, et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva birtzonecha et Zion. Tivne chomot Yerushalayim. Tivne chomot Yerushalayim. Adon olamim, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, urevar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai HaGedola, VeHaGevora, VeHaTiferet, VeHaNetzach, VeHaHod. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני המלאכה, ימי נשיא לכל לראש. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. Here it comes. All right.
A little more.
Almost. My height will help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're sitting up here. I know. Believe me, I do that. I need it down there too. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
Want me to do the blessing?
Oh no, I got Sandy come up. So we can take our seats. We could take our seats. So we're in what book again? Bereshit. Yeah, that's right. We are in Genesis, and Bereshit is our first reading. One of the things I love about Bereshit, well, it's like sort of like one of the things the microphone here. One of the things that I do love about Bereshit, but it's also challenging, is that like there are at least 3 like fantastic readings in Bereshit, but you only have 1 week. So you can either read the creation of the world, you can read about Adam and Eve. What's next after Adam and Eve? Do 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 do. Delilah and Lorelai, you guys ever fight? Never, right? Never have any problems with each other. Well, it turns out siblings have been fighting for a long time because we have Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. You all need to come to Bible study. Cain and Abel. That is correct. We have some fighting that happens in the Torah. It turns out that siblings in Genesis very rarely get along. There's always a little bit of fighting that goes on. You took my stuff. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. And they all, get out of my room. And they're all very angry with each other. And this is actually the worst case scenario where we have a little bit of violence that goes on. By a little bit of violence, I mean a lot of violence that goes on. And so we're going to read a little bit of this portion. It is a little PG-13, but I'll do my best, okay? To lighten the mood, some knock-knock jokes maybe in the middle of Cain and Abel here. So, okay, we're going to have Sandy Sunter come up for the Aliyah. Beth, please, ven acá. Boiti. I have like 3 languages, that's it. English, Spanish, and Hebrew.
That was good.
And even that's enough. So need you, you'll do that, but I need you to hold this 8. Okay, go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Hamparach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notena Torah.
Amen. So let me set the stage before we start reading. 'Cause I know we know the story, but it's good to have a little brush up on the story. Adam and Eve have 2 kids who are Cain and Abel. Very good. Cain is a farmer, he's a man of the land, and Abel is a shepherd. And they're both out there doing their thing, and they give an offering to God. Cain gives an offering of fruits and vegetables, and Abel gives a little bit of the sheep, of the flock, But it says very specifically that Abel gives like the best of his flock, and Cain sort of gives like moldy tomatoes. It doesn't say moldy tomatoes in the Torah, but I'm going to do a little poetic license. He gives sort of, maybe not the best, right, is the implication. And God accepts Abel's offering, but not Cain's. And how does that make Cain feel? Not so good. Sometimes parents play favorites a little bit, but then, here maybe it's God playing favorites, and that's not good. That never leads to any good things. So we have then this moment where Cain is angry, Cain is upset. And then that's what we're going to jump into the reading right now, with Cain being a little bit less than happy with what's going on. Vayomer Adonai el Cain. So God says to Cain, Lama charalach, why are you angry? Velama naflu panecha, why did your face fall? Why are you sad? Like, what's going on? Halo im tetiv, se'et, if you do good things, there's uplift. There's good stuff that happens. Ve'im lo tetiv la petach chatat rovaitz. If you don't do good things, sin crouches at the door. A little spooky language, crouching at the door. Okay. Ve'elecha tishukato, come on, Rabbi. Tishukato ve'ata timshol vo. But if you try, even though it draws close to you, you can overcome it, right? And so even if you feel bad, God is saying, even if you feel sad and angry, you can maybe fight those feelings a little bit and you'll feel better. Just try harder next time. We all make mistakes. You don't have to get angry or cry and throw a tantrum about it. You can just do better next time. Try your best. That's all that God wants from us, to try our best, which is a very nice lesson. And so Cain, obviously listening to that lesson very well. Vayomer Cain el hevel achiv. And so it says, and then Cain says to his brother Abel, we don't know. That part has been lost to history. It literally says, after this we're going to see in a second, but we don't know what Cain ever says to Abel. It's not in the Torah. It's in Midrash we have different stories about what Cain says to Abel, but here we don't have it, and it just says Vehinotam bisadeh, and then they were in the field, right? And so whatever dialogue that was there is no longer there. It could be something as simple as, "Hey, bro, let's take a walk in the field." Like, that could be it, right? There could be anything complicated. Or there could have been some extended dialogue that did happen, because we have some stories about maybe what the conversation might have been. And some of them are more fun than others. Some are maybe for an older crew than we have here today. But there's one story where Cain says to Abel, "Look, you and I were Adam and Eve's children. We're the only two here. Let's divide the world amongst ourselves. I'll take everything that grows from the earth," says Cain, and Abel gets everything that is above the ground, since Cain is the farmer and Abel is the shepherd. But like brothers or siblings always do, they find ways to fight. And so Cain says, "You can't eat that. That came from the ground." And then Abel says, "You can't wear that. That shirt came from one of my sheep." And and they're fighting with each other, about whatever it is. And then finally Cain says, "Abel, you know what? I own the ground. You're standing on my ground. Hover, levitate." And then, because that's what he says to him. He says, "Hover." He says, and Abel can't hover, of course, and that means Cain gets really angry with him for standing on his ground. And then, Vayakom Cain el hevel achiv vayahargehu. And then Cain comes upon Abel and kills him. Not nice. It doesn't say how he kills him, by the way. This is the first murder that we have recorded in human history. So, don't do that. That's not good. Don't do it. You don't always do as the Torah says in this particular case. And so for the adults later, I have some stories on this too, but we're going to keep plowing forward. Vayomer Adonai el Cain, Ehev el achicha. So God then says to Cain, hey, where's Abel? Abel's missing. Where is he? Vayomer, so Cain's going to talk back to God, answer, Lo yadati, I don't know. Ha-shomer achi anochi, am I my brother's keeper? How do I know where he is? It wasn't my turn to watch him. Maybe you should get on that, God. But I don't know where he is. He could be anywhere. Maybe he's out taking a walk. He's at the carnival. He's catching a movie. The new Minions movie's out. Maybe that's out. He's going to watch that. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know where he is. Don't bother me. And so then God, of course, doesn't love that answer. And God says, Vayomer me asita kol damei achicha tzoakim alai min ha'adama. And so God says, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Ve'ata arur ata min ha'adama. And you now are more cursed than the ground. More cursed than the ground. What does that mean? Let me tell you what that means. Just about, if we were going backwards in this portion a little bit to Adam and Eve, do you remember they have a moment, themselves that wasn't so great? They, wind up eating the fruit of the forbidden tree, and then they get punished, right? And one of the curses that God puts on Adam and Eve is, cursed is the ground for you, because now it's not going to be able to yield its fruit in the same way. You're going to have to work really hard. Things aren't just going to pop up spontaneously. You're going to have to actually work for it. So the ground is actually cursed in Genesis 3:17. The more you know. And so you're more cursed than the ground. Asher patzta et piha lakachat et damei achicha miyadecha. The earth which has opened itself up, opened up its mouth to take in the blood of your brother from your hand. So basically that he's bleeding into the ground. And so the ground is cursed again by this terrible thing. Ki ta'avod et ha'adama. So even if you, or when you work the land, because remember, he is a farmer, and so even if you work the land, lo tosev tet kacha, and so it's not going to, koacha, it's not going to give you any yield. You're not going to be able to gain from its strength. You're not going to be able to gain from its strength. Na vinad tihiyeh ba'aretz, you will wander the earth as a punishment for what you did. Like in Kung Fu, the legend continues, where he wanders the earth. Some of you got that reference, and that's awesome. Okay, so what we have here is a failure to communicate. Another movie reference for us, that God and Cain obviously can't sort this out in the beginning. Cain leaves the incident of the not getting his sacrifice accepted a little raw, right? And God isn't able to sort of work enough with Cain to have his feelings not be so hurt by this, because we know that when we're sad and we're angry or whatever it might be, we don't always make the best decisions. And Cain was certainly not feeling so great about himself and sort of feeling rejected and feeling sad. So that was already sort of a breakdown in communication there. But then, of course, we have the breakdown between Cain and Abel. We don't know what's said. We don't know how it really transpires. And then we have that terrible thing that happens. And then we tie up the story in a way with the theme of the story right before it, which I think is really interesting. Sort of the parents, Adam and Eve, have the same issue, which is about responsibility, right? God goes to Eve, what did you do? Why did you eat that fruit of the tree? What's wrong with you? Actually, sorry, he starts with Adam. God starts with Adam first. Adam, what did you do? Why did you eat the forbidden fruit? I gave you one rule, one thing. Sometimes when our parents tell us not to do something, that's what we want to do more than anything in the world. Don't do that either. But that being, always listen to mommy and daddy. That's the way to go. So we have this thing now where Adam eats the fruit, and God says, what's your problem? And Adam goes, this woman you gave me, she's the one who made me eat the fruit. I want to make my wife happy. She says we don't do enough together, and so I ate the fruit. What am I going to get yelled at? I'm going to get hocked in the Garden of Eden. I'm going to eat the fruit of the tree. So God goes to Eve. Eve, what's your problem? Why did you eat the fruit? And Eve says what? The snake made me do it. And the snake was the one who caused all these problems. And God's not buying it, and all of them get punished. The same thing happens here. Cain's like, I don't know what happened. There was two of us, and now there's one of us. It's not a hard mystery. Like if this was on Law and Order, it would take 10 minutes to get through. You wouldn't have to have the theme over and over again. You would just be able to have the Law and Order episode to be over. It's like, two people come in, one comes out.
Just done.
Dun, dun, dun. And so it's quick, and so, but God's giving what? God asks, where's your brother? Do we think God doesn't know? I think God knows. God's giving Cain an opportunity to say, I did something wrong. Right? I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking. He's giving Cain an opportunity to confess what he did. And Cain doesn't do that. And Cain even goes so far, according to a tradition, as blaming God for the whole incident. He says, look, hey, you put him here. You put him here to annoy me. It's a problem. That's number one. Number two, if you had just accepted my sacrifice, none of this would have happened, right? Like if you had treated me better, I would have treated Abel better, And so Cain keeps trying to make excuses and not take responsibility for his own actions. And then God says that's not how it works. That's not going to be the deal with humanity, that we're each going to be responsible for our actions. And we have to think about it because it's important. When you're reading the Torah, right, what's the first lesson we learn? That we're responsible for our actions and responsible, how we treat God, how we treat each other, how we treat the earth. It's all about responsibility in Genesis. One thing I love about the Torah is that they don't bury the lead. One of the most important lessons comes first. Be responsible. Take care of each other. Be kind to each other. Yes, we are our brother's keepers. We're our sister's keepers. We're the keepers of our children, our parents, our friends. We are all responsible for each other and for our well-being. And we have to treat each other with kindness and compassion. And it's not an easy lesson all the time because sometimes people get on our nerves. Sometimes people bother us. But in the end of the day, we have to love each other, be kind to each other, be respectful of each other. And in that way, we create, in this book of creation, we create a better world for us all. So with all of that said, do we do the blessing after? No, right? Okay, go ahead, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nutab b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noteina Torah.
Amen. We're going to rise as we lift and dress the Torah. Helene, you want to help us out with the dressing of the Torah? We're going to do a modified lift because I don't think Hagba. We'll see. I can roll this a little bit. No, I can't. No, I can't. I can't even roll it a bit because Silas is reading next week. Where's Silas at? I got it. Okay.
Vizot HaTorah asher samelshe b'nei Yisrael pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. No worries. That's correct, right? Here we go. It's almost there. Here we are. Here, look, I'm going to be taller. There it is. Thank you. We have this. There we go. There we are. Oh. All right, here we go. Didn't know it was so dangerous to dress.
Yeah. Okay. Open up the yard.
Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomereha meyushar drachei Adam drachei Noam v'kol nativotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadish Chadish Yaminu Chadish Yaminu Keketen
Page 586, Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא זמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Go Team Hot. That's good. So I'll take our seats. Okay, my friends. We're going to turn now to page 590. Let's do 595 today. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do our best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. We are in the Shloshim period for the memory of Bernice Lipman, mother of Wendy Rath. And we are also in the Shloshim period for John Conway, husband of Leah Conway. And we're in the Shloshim period for Emma Barth, the mother of Michael and Alice. And so we send our condolences to those families during this period of grief. We are observing, we are thinking about those who passed away during this last year. Sid Bolin, Joan Keller, Leo Weintraub, Nina Stegg, Janet White, Phyllis Kraus, Phyllis Ullman, Sheila Buckwalter, Bob Mansfeld, Albert Gart, Barry Dabowski, Ann Blumenkrantz, Shirley Matler, Richard Clausen, Mary John Resch, Liesel Schick, Jay Roth, Fran Brickman, Michael Vereb, and Janice Lederer. We are observing the yurtzeit this week for Tilly Arlen, Rachel Baum, Lee Benjamin, Richard Berkson, Rose Boker, Bailey Brom, Carson Brom, Benjamin Broder, Meyer Budd, Arthur Lewis Chorist, Gerald Cohen, Herschel Cohen, Roberta Feinberg, Joan Kessler Fox, Anita Franco, Estelle Freilich, June Garrigan, Zena Glazer, Marcia Greenblatt, David Hack, Lewis Hollander, Stanley Eagle, Fanny Idle Jacobson, Rose Kaplan, Kenneth Kirschbaum, Israel Lampert, Geraldine Lesser, Anna Mass, Samuel Myers, Shirley Naster, Lena C. Orlick, Esther Pelzer, Jacob Pollock, William Carl Robbins, Ralph William Russo, Gertrude H. Shapiro, James Shapiro, Sam Shinbaum, Gwynn Sugarman, Harold Siegel, Felix Smith, Edith Winter Sperber, Abraham Stein, Alvin G. Steinfeld, Nathan Verbin, Marilyn Wolfson, and Esther Zumber. We also didn't mention on this list, we're in the Shloshim period for the memory of Bob Guerriero, Denise Kirschbaum's brother. The services were held today in New York, correct? New York, yes. And so we send our condolences out to Denise as well and her loss. On page 598, we rise together, united as one community for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah b'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala v'izman kari v'imru amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitparar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudisha barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all over the world. And together we say amen. Please be seated. We're now going to invite to come forward for a cornucopia of announcements. Sandy Sunter. Yes. She doesn't like when I say a few announcements, so I'm just going to add different verbiage each week now. I did want to mention, sorry, Sandy, one more thing, but before we do announcements, one we didn't on the Misha Barak list mention, we also send our thoughts of healing to Gary Ford as well. And so we want to hope that he is feeling better as well. Okay,
Right, well.
Sandy.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, sorry. There we are.
And into our friend the microphone.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody here in our sanctuary today, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody at home. Thank you, Rabbi, for our Torah service. I love when it's Torah service, and Beth, thank you for your lovely music. I always love you. It made me happy, okay? And it is about me. So thank you. And thank you, Maria. And thank you, Heather, for doing our streaming tonight. So my cornucopia today is this Sunday, for the first time, is going to be our blessing of our animals. So anyone who has a pet is welcome to come. It's at 11:30. Please have your pet in a little case or a leash. But please bring them. This is the first time we've ever done it here, and should be fun. It'll be fun meeting each other's furry family members as well. So please, everybody come for that. On October the 27th, coming Thursday, that we will be enjoying a movie at the Studio Movie Grill in Seminole. It's a collaboration with Gulf Coast Jewish Community Services. The film is called The Invisibles, and it is being sponsored by Sue Heyman and Mike White. Tickets are $12, and my understanding is it's in German language with English subtitles. So please try to go. It sounds like it's a really interesting movie. You may have read about it in our blast. Mark your calendars for our first Saturday Shabbat service is going to be coming up on November the 12th at 10:30. We haven't done one on Saturday for a long time. This one we are going to be dedicating to and recognizing and celebrating our veterans, since Veterans Day will be the day before. So please watch for that, and please come. It should be so. They're working on a very special service for the veterans. I know that. November 16th, mark your calendars. We'll be participating in an interfaith Thanksgiving service along with other congregations in our community. It is being held at the LDS Church, and I don't know where it is yet. Rabbi, do you? Where it is? Okay. Well. We'll tell you.
It's a big place, I guess. We'll find it.
Let's see. Also, Tony Rindy asked that I would make an announcement. The Holocaust Museum has a speaker on anti-Semitism on October the 27th at the museum. You can call the museum for an RSVP. She said the speaker is world-renowned British comedian that will speak on anti-Semitism. I don't know who the British comedian is, but she's... What is it?
It's David Baddiel.
Okay.
He's very well known in some circles, so it is actually an interesting guest.
Okay. So if anybody's interested, call.
Here on November 4th, we have a really interesting speaker. Not
November
November
2nd. Oh, I'm next. I've got it. Rabbi's been really waiting for us to be able to start a speaker series. So we are going to be having our first speaker series. It's Adult Lunch and Learn. It will be Wednesday, November the 2nd at noon. And it says, please join us for Lunch and Learn with Dr. James Strange. He's the director of the Shechin excavation project in Israel. Anybody who remembers Joan Keller, Olive Shalom? This is the son of her mentor, that she would go and work in Israel and do digs for many, 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 many years. And this is his son, and he's going to be presenting. He's going to explore archaeology in Israel. In addition to other topics, Dr. Strange will give an overview of his work at Shechin, a Jewish village in the Galilee where the Mishnah was compiled by Judah HaNasi, and explain the Tampa Bay ties to that excavation. So that will be here on our campus, and put that on your calendar. I think it's pretty exciting. It's something Rabbi's been wanting to do. Yes? Sisterhood Book Club. What time again is it? Okay. Anybody is invited to come? They can RSVP. Please RSVP to Andrea. Well, since Sunday is our blessing of the animals, I wanted to just say something, leave a couple words related to animals. There's two, and I really like both of them, so I'm going to read this one. Living creatures possess the soul and a certain spiritual superiority, which in this respect make them similar to those who possess intellect, people. And they have the power of affecting their welfare and their food, and they flee from pain and death. This was written by Nachmanides, a commentary from Genesis 1:29. because we love our animals, and it'll give us opportunity to honor them on Sunday. I hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Sandy. How do we say dog in Hebrew? Kelev. How do we say fish in Hebrew?
Dog.
Dog. Dog is fish. Dog.
Did you know that dogs even bark differently? They don't say arf, they say huff, 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 huff in Israel. Isn't that weird? That's weird, but it's true.
That was bad even for me. Oh, that was excellent. Cat, chatul, chatul. So, all this and more on Sunday. And no, it'll be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and hopefully it becomes an annual tradition, and we keep making it bigger each year. And as you heard from Sandy, there's a ton of stuff going on, and I'm not going to give sermon part 2, but I do just want to mention something that, archaeology, it actually does mean a lot when it comes to Israel, because now the Jewish community is under attack often about questions of legitimacy and authenticity, and it is through archaeology that we can fundamentally prove we were there 2,000 years ago. We were there 2,500 years ago as a people, right? And so when Israel is attacked and saying, oh, you guys weren't really here, whatever it is, we had stuff in the past week or two, if those have been following the news, with certain things, that the idea that like the Jewish people have roots in this land that go back thousands of years. So when you think about archaeology and like sort of these different excavations and go, oh, it's history, it's sort of, who cares what someone else finds in the dirt, whatever it is, like it actually is really meaningful and really important for our people if this work continues. And what they discover tells us a lot about our past. And then knowing that past helps us today. And so it's just, again, I'm not going to get the whole other sermon, but I'm saying that it is actually really important. So I think it's really a great idea to have this coming up first. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And again, having that connection to our synagogue, because this was Joan's thing for decades. This was her thing. And so it's really nice to have an opportunity to hear from one of her friends and teachers, very close to the family.
And I've had the privilege of having 2 conversations with Dr. Strange. He is the most fascinating person. I'm just super excited about this. It should be really great. So
Indeed. Okay, so with all of that said, Aniva Ata, of
Right,
course.
we're going to close the way we opened.
Let's all stand up for our final sort of song. Aniva Ata, 652. Let's change the world together.
אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה. יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Let's go back to the first verse for one last time. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבוא יבקר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
Very nice. A little motzi. Delilah, Lorelei, come on back up.
Yeah.
Get some of that blood going. I know it's late.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as this joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom.